All right, so I just wanted to show you a couple more things. I'm not going to actually bother, I think, animating that E. I just wanted to show you how we can make things a little bit better. So, for instance, you remember before I was talking about the fact that, oh, it's because it's locked, that this, we can see the path here, but I don't have a lot of control over the tweening. We can actually, in fact, do that. So what you do is, if it's the type that is the motion tween, you double click on it, and it'll actually show you a animation graph, right? So you may or may not be familiar with that, but you can see it's really tiny though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this and pull this up, okay? And then what I can do is I can click on the various attributes, and it will show me the what the transition of things over time. So for instance, I have X here, right? So generally X going left to right, you can see that it kind of goes straight, and then it's pretty much going straight, which means if you look, it kind of moves at one consistent speed. And if I go Y, you can kind of see how it's curved because this is curved, right? Because it kind of goes down, it kind of goes slow, and then it comes back up. So it's sort of curved in a very similar way. But if I play this, you'll notice that it doesn't quite have. It's not quite the snap I want. I want to start slow and go wonk like that, right? So what I can do is on this, I just want to adjust the curve. So I just make sure you have the regular select on. I'm going to click on this one right here, this little point, and you can see this little line came up. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I want it to ease in more. So I want to, if it's flat, like see how these are all flat right in here? All these lines are flat. That means there's no change. The value is not changing, so it doesn't move. So the flatter, the more horizontal the curve, the slower the movement, the more vertical, the faster the movement. So if I want to move slower to start with, I'm just going to grab the Bezier handle here, and I'll just bell it a little bit. And what you're going to see is, see how now you can kind of see these little keys here? And so now when I go like this, well, you'll see, right? And maybe it needs a little bit more even. So I'll click back on that again, and I'm just going to really pull that. And then let's see. Okay, and you can see it goes whoop, and it just it goes starts real slow. Okay, and I could also play with the rotate here. So let's say the rotate right now, if you look, it's very linear. It goes in that direction, then it goes back direction. Man, that's a lot of okay. But let's say I want to just be more of a smooth transition. So I can click on this, but you're going to see there's no handles there. I can also move these, by the way. So if you want it to be like less or more or something, I can change the position and I can change the value, right? So right now it's going up to roughly, I don't know, around 20 degrees, less than 18 degrees. But let's say I wanted to just adjust the Bezier handle, but there's no handle on this one by default. All you have to do is I'm going to hover over it. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to click and let's try that again. Hold Alt. There you go. Click and drag down, and then I can see the handle. I'm going to let go of Alt. Now I'm going to click on the handle, and I'm just going to pull it to the right, so it's a little more belled. I don't have one on this side, so once again, I'm going to hold Alt, click and drag down. There's my handle. Pull that one to the left, and then you'll see they'll become attached. If you want to move independently, just hold Alt, and you can grab one versus the other, but I'm just going to grab both. And now you can see it's a little bit more of a bell curve. You probably won't really be able to see much of a difference here, but anyway, that is how I would adjust my curves. And so I can adjust these depending on how much, how I want them to look. Okay, so that's how we kind of deal with the easing in and easing out. So if you're familiar with other animation packages that have graphs, this is available here. The other thing I wanted to show you was this stuff here. So when this comes down, you can see the animations happening. And I very quickly, I didn't really explain it much. You can adjust the easing right here. So you just click on the span where the motion's happening, where the interpolation's happening. And you'll get this option for the easing, right? So right now it's got classic ease in, which is totally fine. If we click on that, you're going to see it's got classic ease in. If I zero this out, there'll be no ease in. So it just means it's moving at the same speed from the beginning to the end. When I go this way, it'll move very fast, and then it moves less speed over time. And if we click and drag this way, it'll start slow and then move faster. Now, they have these pre-built ones, so we can click on like ease in, and then you can click on these various ones. So like this one's got a lot of ease in and then very quickly does it. So watch, I'm just going to double click on it. And now that will be the ease in. So you're going to see it's going to barely, let me just zoom out here a little bit. It's going to barely move at all. And then boom, it goes very fast. See what I'm saying? Which actually I kind of like that better anyway. But that's what those easing ins does. Okay, so and there's a bunch of them: ease out, custom, yada yada yada. Click off. You can also do this, which is nice. You can click on this little edit. Come on, and then you can do it yourself. So then I'm going to click in here, and I can add points to make it do something different. And then we can save and apply. And now you're going to see it's going to kind of wiggle a little bit. See how it went up and down? Because I added it to go like that, which doesn't look very good. Because that ease in now uses that graph. And so I wonder if we can just undo that real quick. That's better. So you can adjust your easing using those as well. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So imagine I did something with the E. We could do any number of things to make that look a little bit better, but we'll call that good. So let's say I just want to export this out. Same things before, just file, export, and then we're just going to export video media. It's going to give me an option here. We'll just say the entire movie, yada, yada, yada. It's going to go, that's fire. It's automatically going to open it up. And then it'll bring open, hopefully, the Adobe Media Encoder. And then just export as your name, and then you'll have a MPEG-4 that is H.264 codec. All right, so you can see it here. Should auto pop up in a moment, hopefully. There we go. And it automatically did it too. And there it is. And if I click on it, it'll pop up. I can open it up here, and then we can see our animation. All right, yay. Okay. So that is that. Hopefully that works. All right. Good luck. Be as creative as possible. I just want to see you try these different forms of tweening. You know, I did sort of boring stuff. So whatever you want to do, spin things around, you know, have fun with it.